Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to part 10 of the D7 battlecruiser build. Today was going to be a continuation of the nacelle assembly, so let's get started. But yeah, I was just putting the glue onto the pegs here and putting a little here. I'm going to glue these pieces together since they're working. Oh. And we want to hit this edge. Well, and I didn't make these exactly the same because I see a bad lip there. Actually, the whole way this whole front end of this whole nacelles design is kind of weird. I need to get more of these little craft store or dollar store clamps. They're great, these little clamps. And then I'm using the bigger ones for up here because I don't have enough of those little ones. Oh, and I found that to hit this one, it's easier to hit like that because you can't get the angle. Make sure everything's pretty square and level. We'll let that set for a sec. Yeah, they don't give you much. There's no holes on this side. It's just these little dots that are supposed to just kind of line up. Yeah, it's a cheap way of doing it, that's for sure. You didn't have to do much tooling on this piece because I even hit this little corner here. And not only hit those dots, make sure it hits on the, you know, the little bit falls to the edge. Not sure where those are going to hit. So I'm kind of letting that glue on that run on both sides. And here, run a bead. And run a bead. And that should be it. And then I'll go in with the thin tamiya to seal like this whole edge and up here. I don't want to put I know I'll put my hands in it sooner or later. There it goes. That one snapped right in. Get rid of the excess glue because I just don't want to get my hands too much in it. That's looking good. Clamp it. It keeps it from moving on you. And then you can adjust. You always want to look at this bottom edge because it seems to be a little off there, and I think they're just molded a little funky, but we'll have to clean that edge up, not only because of the seam but because it's not perfect, the same size. And again, we got to come from this angle to get that angle. That way it presses on there. If you just put one in the middle, the whole center thing bows, and then it actually opens those gaps. So you got to kind of use two on both of those. Because like I say, if you put one here, it'll actually, watch, it'll squish that and actually, you know, run the risk of opening that, or you'll glue it in that weird position. And this way you can't get a good, I mean, it's there, but this way I keep a good square with the edge pressure. And that's it. The engines are done. Like I said, I'll take some of my thin glue and hit all this. I usually do both anyway. Like I said, I'll probably have to hit these fronts once I unclamp. And believe it or not, this thin glue will fill little gaps. especially if you put a couple coats in there. If it hits something, it starts layering in there. Alright, but there's that one. I'll do the same to you. I hate when I come out, I hit the edge and then that just wipes the glue off, so that defeats the purpose. Oh, and the engines aren't totally done. I gotta put the caps on the ends. I'll have to see how those fit, but I could probably leave them off till the end and put them on. Yeah, I guess it's 6 1/2 dozen the other. I'm not going to do anything. There's going to be no lights coming out of them. I mean, I know the Katinga from the back has that one light at the bottom, lower part of that, but I don't think this ship is made that way. It has that lip down there. Here we go. The nacelle covers. It has that, oh no, it's a little higher. Where the Katingas, it's down here. But I think we're just going to do these up black. I know everybody normally does them green. I'm doing some liberties of mine to keep some kind of... I just think it's just too much green and just gray. There needs to be another color in there. And then since these are dark on the Katinga, why not on the D7? I did it with my pre-painted Polar Lights little 1000 series. I hit that and it looks good. I think with the chrome silver pieces here, this being black, and I think, let's not pick this one up too much. Let's look at one of these. You know, and then it's mainly going to be green with a little bit of the silver here. All that's green, and then the gray comes down to here, and then this is silver. I think this is a gold, this little part. There's going to be a piece glued onto there, which I can glue on. Maybe I'll do that now. But these go on the ends here. I don't know if there's any particular way. I'm sure there is. Which way? Is this nub more on the inside or the outside? I'm not sure. I would think it would be more on the inside, but yeah. So how do I do that? Because I'd like to keep a... Katinga still has a green ring that goes around that, and then these are black and that's black. Or gunmetal is what I used, a black gunmetal. But I might just do this whole engine piece black, and then these black, and this stays green. I just think it brings a little more something to it. I think all that green it's just too plain to me. It's fine, but I'd rather add something to it. So that's what I'm going to do. If I don't like it, I'll go back with the green. But I know I'll like it. I just think, since I did the Katingas did it, I tried it on that 1000s pre-painted Polar Lights kit, and I liked how it looked. But I guess, what else? You know what? That might be good to leave off. Because to putty this seam, it's probably going to be much easier if I don't have this little bump every so often. Yeah, we're down to like barely any parts to this kit. It's almost done. It's just these silver parts, which I'll just hit with the can silver, but these go on the bottom. I don't know if they're supposed to be like phasers or something. Yeah, but they'll go like that. And I don't think I have to putty them that well, you know what I mean? As long as I can get them pressed on there, it can look like a separate piece, because it is a separate piece. It shouldn't look overly molded. And we will fill any gaps if it's like massively stupid gaps. Oh, it looks like I'm even getting some openings still here. Yeah. So what we do, should just take your... Nothing ever wants to... I've been running glue down this, but it just might not be seeping in. Here we go. I don't have any of that happening here, really. So those are really cool phrases from the original series that you can see. Now we're going to show you that this also has sort of a bird feature. So we hold this button down here, we push it once, hear a little click, and then you shut the lid, and you get two different types of birds. It's like you just don't want any loose spots, because even if you putty, it could cause them to crack. So let's see if this one's opening. Yeah, pretty much so. So that was a good find for us. And it might be because there's paint on these edges, and this glue is just having trouble to break through all that. That's why you always want to sand your... And I know I'm not always doing it either. Just sand those edges. Just makes it an easier job for the glue. Oh, there we go. But that's what I'm going to do with these. So I can actually leave these off because I'm just going to hit them completely gunmetal, pop them on there. These I'll hand brush or tape off. I'm not sure. I'll probably just hand brush it because that gunmetal dries quite level. Instead of spending the time taping it and then having to clean the airbrush, take longer than it would to paint it. So sometimes you have to because, you know, it's just the way it is. But I can even start, these will be green, so it's not going to matter. But this is all chrome, these are all silver, and those are silver. I've seen somewhere they don't do that silver, but I'm going to do the whole, I'm going to keep it the way it is. Okay, we'll let these dry. These I can keep working on. I mean, it was just that edge. I had that edge problem on that. This is going to have something else gluing on top of it. Hopefully that, and then I'll use the cement there. That'll help pull that together. But that's it. It's getting down to it. But there is still a big process yet that has to be done. And that big process I've been putting off. That big process is those two. Got a lot of sanding. A lot of sanding and probably a possible another coat. We'll see how this all took. But it's time to get some, either put a towel over me, or I definitely probably want to change this out. Or actually I'll use this and then I'll wash it. I'll get my newer one, cleaner one out. It's good to have a couple of these. And when I'm doing raw work, I could probably go with just my cutting thing. The problem is I need a new one of these. I've drilled holes in them where I'm drilling in the plastic and it cuts through. With the CD's row of holes here is from drilling the sconces on the Falcon. All the little sconces, you know, there's like 5 of them per segments in the hallways. I had the piece of plastic there, and I was just with my screw gun, and that's what. And then super glue. Like, you can't slide a flat piece of plastic on this. Oh, that's like if you try to slide, you're constantly hitting. Hear them all. And even then, one got the smaller one to put tools and stuff on, and it's got super glue. It's the super glue that's the pain. The paint don't bother me. Paint I can take up with thinner. Super glue is there forever. This is my tool. I just like having something, my tools to sit on when they're not on this. I need to clean this desk up anyway, but I need to get a bigger one of these. And that's clean and new. I keep forgetting to look. But it's always good to have a couple of these rags. These are old kitchen towels. But nice and soft. Especially when you're getting down to where everything's cleaned and painted and you don't want it to get scratched. Right now we're doing rough construction and stuff, so it doesn't really need to, but it's just, I can move stuff without it. If I drop something like a decal, sometimes I can find it on here. But anywho, yeah, so this is next. But what I'm also going to do is try to figure out what I can do to get my computer to export or encode. I'm going to have to move stuff off that hard drive. And hopefully not affect the videos that are already on there. So, I hope you enjoyed this segment. Like I said, we'll come back. I'll probably have these sanded. I mean, it's just sanding, so. And then we can figure out what's going on. I'm still not sure if I'm going to drill. I think I'm just going to sand right over all that. The little raised windows. And I'll use my decals to transfer all the holes over here. We'll come up with a way, hopefully, tracing that. I think I can use the transfer paper because it's see-through, and I can lay that on the decal and dot some holes, and then get them over to where I want them. At least this one's easy. I can use some of these bases. I don't know. I might drill some of these holes before I do a final paint, so that the paint gets in the holes. Here, I was going to try to save those, but it's just easier to sand them off. I'll use the decal for that too. Or use, you know, as a template or something. So, I will be back. We're done with this segment. We'll get on here. I should have those sanded up and ready to move on. What are we ready to move on with these? Pretty much gluing stuff together. We can glue the engines on to the bottom of the hull. We can glue the neck on to the bottom of the hull. And yeah, keep on trucking. Alright, until next time.